A few days ago, the Kenyan government, the Kenyan authorities, that is to be specific, Kenya Navy, Kenyan Coast Guard, and NACADA, of course in cooperation, managed to seize 8.2 billion worth of crystalline meth, right, along the Kenyan coast. And on board there were about 6 Iranian nationals. And I hear that the ship, did not have any flag on it. So it was not linked to specific country, but there were 6 Iranian nationals. So my guess is it's either these drugs came from Iran or those Iranian nationals were just employees, and involved in this large scale trafficking of narcotics, right? And drugs, right? And of course, they're soon going to be arraigned in court. And I heard one of the staffs, one of the bosses of the DCI speak of it, and he was suspecting that these drugs were supposed to be sold or were intended to be sold in one of the countries within East Africa, and having captured that large amount of meth, just tells you the level, of in which drugs are trafficked within East Africa. Yeah, I mean, listen to this first.
In what could be one of East Africa's biggest drug busts in years, a multi-agency operation involving Kenya Navy, Kenya Coast Guard and NACADA has seized methamphetamine worth 8.2 billion shillings and arrested 6 Iranian nationals who were ferrying the consignment. The vessel was seized after Kenyan security agencies received information from regional and international partners on the suspicious boat which was on their radar doing rounds in Western Indian Ocean.
Kenya Navy was able to intercept this suspicious vessel about 630 kilometers east of Mombasa. And we have been able to conduct this operation seamlessly, and were able to arrest it and escort it here to the port of Mombasa.
With the boat seized, police moved to court where they obtained orders to detain it and conduct a search to verify the content in sacks.
We were able to discover 769 packages of crystalline substance that was weighing approximately 1,024 and 253 kilograms of what came out to be methamphetamine. The street value of the consignment is estimated to be cash shillings 8.2 billion, equivalent to US dollars 63 million.
Amin says the next phase of investigations will focus on the origin of the drugs and its destination, which they believe was to be sold in East Africa region.
It may be too early for me to say that the destination was point A or B. It is still under investigation, but certainly it was destined anywhere in this region. And in terms of the source, like I said, the vessel was stateless. It had no flag, but on board were 6 Iranian nationals.
The 6 suspects are expected to appear in court on Monday as police intensify operations to track down more individuals connected to the drug trafficking network.
Also, recently, JKIA has been on the headlines. And JKIA, for information, is the biggest international airport in Kenya, right? And it's one of the busiest, right? And a lot of people use this airport. And in my opinion, I think it's also one of the airports which has tight security, right? Or it's supposed to have tight security. Yeah. But somehow there were suspects caught recently and were linked to a British national. This guy successfully managed to pass through JKIA with drugs, with cocaine, right? And the only way we knew about this is because he was caught in Heathrow, UK, after successfully transporting the drugs, right? And now a lot of questions were being asked concerning the security and the work that is done by the security agencies in JKIA. Because if someone was able to successfully pass through JKIA without being caught and end up being caught in the UK, I think that's a big challenge or security flaw when it comes to inspecting passengers, right? And there were suspicions concerning this because I think this particular individual was linked to a very powerful minister in Kenya, right? A lot of people were suspecting because there were some photos seen of this individual with a minister, a cabinet minister in Kenya, right? And just listen to this first before we discuss anything else.
And 4 suspects linked to a narcotics trafficking syndicate operating through Jomo Kenyatta International Airport will be detained for 13 days until the 29th of October 2025. This follows a series of operations between October 5th and 7th, 2025 by the multi-agency transnational organized crime unit that led to the arrest of the 4 individuals implicated in the smuggling of cocaine destined for both local and international markets. Ode Francis with the details.
In a coordinated crackdown led by the multi-agency transnational organized crime unit TOKU, 4 individuals suspected of being part of a sophisticated narcotics trafficking syndicate operating through Jomo Kenyatta International Airport JKIA were arraigned at the JKIA law courts. The suspects will remain in custody for 13 days, pending further investigations until 29th October 2025. The arrests followed a series of intelligence-led operations conducted between October 5th and 7th, targeting a network allegedly responsible for smuggling cocaine into both domestic and international markets. Among those apprehended are Abdul Rahim Sheikh, believed to be the syndicate's ringleader, Muammar Mutua Muhammad, identified as the logistics coordinator overseeing drug movement through JKIA. Investigators have connected the local arrest to an international case involving Jesse Damata dos Santos, a British national recently detained in London with 20 kilograms of cocaine. According to court affidavit, Jesse is suspected to have direct ties to Rashid Sheikh, who holds dual Kenyan-British citizenship. Another suspect, Haji Nur Yusuf Muhammad, also a British national, is believed to be Sheikh's cousin. Sheikh and Haji Nur were tracked to Nyali Center Mall in Mombasa County. 4 additional suspects were apprehended at an apartment in Utawala, Nairobi County. During the operation, detectives recovered 2 packages suspected to contain narcotics, 7 mobile phones, now undergoing forensic analysis to trace communications and logistics. Samples from the seized substances are being weighed and chemically profiled to establish links to previous trafficking incidents. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And now, this deputy president was speaking of this, and I think he was asked by a journalist concerning about this. And you see, Rigathi Gachagua is the former deputy president. Of course, he was impeached and removed from office, and he was claiming that when he was in office, that he spoke to William Ruto about this, and of course, he was fighting drugs in office. And yeah, I remember he was fighting against illegal alcohol, in the Mount Kenya region, the central region of Kenya. And he was complaining about how the president has appointed ministers who are drug barons, right, into his cabinet. And that can be a challenge. I mean, listen to him speak about that.
I have been speaking, and anything I've told Kenyans have come to pass. Anything I've said. I said about bombers of Kenya, it has come to pass. I said about RSF, it has come to pass. I said President William Ruto has appointed drug barons into his cabinet. I have been vindicated the day before yesterday. Drugs are being smuggled through JKIA.
Who in his cabinet is in charge of that?
You have seen the photographs. The people who are smuggling drugs through the airport, you have seen their photographs with the cabinet minister. And everybody knows that cabinet minister who is a drug baron. There are two. And I asked William Ruto, he had put me in charge of fighting drugs and alcoholism. When he was appointing these two ministers, I asked him, Mr. President, where does that leave me? How do I continue with this war on drug abuse when I'll be sitting in the same cabinet with the drug barons? That expose that has happened at the airport, if William Ruto has any decorum remaining, he must sack that minister. The evidence is there. The people who are smuggling drugs through JKIA, the photographs with his minister is there. And you can see clearly that the minister is actually the one who is facilitating, the peddling of the smuggling of drugs through the airport, because the drugs that have been caught, the documentation was saying that they are minerals that are going for testing. So the ministry is being used for drug trafficking because the minister has been a drug baron, and it is in public domain. Everybody knows. There is nobody in this country who doesn't know. But William Ruto has no qualm because of his own business interests with that minister and the deals they are doing together. He has no qualms about appointing a fellow involved in drugs to the cabinet when our children are in trouble. How does William Ruto face parents today? And he was telling parents that they are responsible for bad upbringing. When he has appointed ministers who are peddling drugs, they are sitting in his cabinet. When now there is evidence that that minister and his associates are involved in drug trafficking, how does he face parents and accuse them of bad upbringing when his minister, who is his business partner, is involved in drug peddling, cocaine, hard drugs in this country? These are some of the things, Dennis, that got me very tired. And today, in fact, I feel very relieved I'm not part of that government. I don't know how I'll be able now. This week, I would have gone to cabinet after what happened at JKIA. I don't know how I would have gone to sit in that cabinet with that minister when I was in charge of fighting drugs and alcoholism on behalf of government, and then I have to sit with a minister who is facilitating drug trafficking in the country.
And now, you see, this begs questions. Is East Africa one of the regions which consumes a lot of drugs, or is it just that it's a highway route, to the rest of the world, or it's just a link, to the rest of the world? Because I think it's affecting a lot of people. In Mombasa recently, some time back, there was this thing in the news where youth, there was this drug where they consume. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but when they take it, you find that they turn into zombies somehow. It could be this meth, right? Or it could be another serious drug, right? And that poses serious danger to the youth, right? And to the economy. What do you think? Have you heard of this, or what is your thoughts about this? And of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section. And of course, if you like the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one. Bye.